Hello, in this video I'm going to teach you how to play Hey There Delilah from the Plain White Tees. And we're going to focus on the right hand of this song first. We're going to play P and then MI simultaneously, and we're going to repeat that basically the entire song. So if we look at our right hand, we place our fingers in the correct position again. So basically we make a fist and we stick the thumb out and then we place it on the A string, and then you can squeeze the strings a bit like this in order to make sure that your thumb is out like this, and then your IMA fingers are stuck together like this. So that's the basic position. And then once we start playing P and then MI simultaneously, we have to make sure that our I finger is making contact with the high E string in order to have some extra stability. So basically we're playing and while we're playing this, again our A finger is there, so you can work with that tension in order to have a more controlled, stable hand in order to make the sound. And again, the thumb is moving towards the index or I finger, and then the M and I fingers are moving inwards as if you're again squeezing a tennis ball. Alright, so then we're going to look at the first intro of the song where we play an open D note, and then we have a first finger on the A position of the G string and then a second position on the D string, and then we play so that's the first part. Then we place our third finger on the fourth position of the D string, and you can actually see that normally that would have been an F, but because of the sharp sign we're going to extend that with one step, so it becomes an F sharp. And then we also see a sharp sign in front of the C on the B string, which would normally be on the first position, but because of the sharp sign it becomes a C sharp, so then it's on the second position, one step further. So we have our third finger there on the F sharp position, and then we're going to place a bar chord. So we're using our index finger in order to press down three strings at the same time. And this might actually, we've seen it before, but this might actually be a little bit tricky in the beginning. So you have to make sure that you apply correct pressure right next to the fret there. And then this is the sound that you should be getting. In the beginning it's very normal that you will feel tension in your hand. You have to build up the strength in your left hand in order to really make it sound clean. So it definitely asks the, you definitely need some exercise for this. If we look at bar 3, we have the same thing again as in bar 1. Again, if you play it slowly, then in bar 4 we have the same thing again, so third finger on the F sharp position and then a bar. Then we're going to the first verse, and we're playing again same thing, so A and D and then an open D, and then again, then back again, and then in the fourth bar of the verse we play a quarter note in the last beat, so we count 1, 2, 3, 4, then in that fourth beat we play a quarter note in order to have a bit of time to prepare our first finger for bar 5. As we play the fourth, so basically the third finger there, so the fourth position, we can then in that time prepare our first finger and then place our second and third finger there. So then we play. So the bass we play is a B. And we leave those second and third finger there, and we're only going to shift with our first finger. We're going from the second position of the A string to the third position of the E string. So we play a G there. So that's the half of bar 6. So we go from this G to an open A, and then in that time when we play the open A we can prepare another bar again, and that bar is on the second position, and by placing that we are playing an A note and a C sharp, as we can see in the notes as well, or you can see the tabs as 2-2, so 2 second position notes. Another way to play this is by shifting your second finger and sliding it back to the second position and then adding your first finger. That's also a possibility. So then you would play or, so that's the bar option, which is slightly more difficult, but very doable at this stage. Then we're going back again with our first finger. So we then place the first finger on the B, and then we have a second finger and a third finger on the D and the on the B. And the funny thing about this B is that it's actually the same note as the open B, and as we follow the alphabet, we of course have an A here on the second position. That's a half note, so that would be an A sharp, and then one step further is a B again, and that B is the same pitch as the open B string. So this is a good example that some notes can actually be played on different positions and they still have the same pitch. So it goes for this E as well. So we have a D and then we have an E following here, which is the same note again as an open E. If you play them together, then they actually sound, they're basically the same pitch. So they're the same note, but played on a different position on the fretboard. Alright, so back again to bar 6. So we played this, then we're going to use our first finger or first finger here and place it on the B position, and then we're going to add our second and third finger. In this case, I would go back again with the second finger and then add your first finger. And then in the second half of bar 8, we can then play the first finger that we already have here, and then an open E string, and then we play. So there we actually change our right hand position as well, because we are going to play I and A together instead of M and I together, because we're now playing a G string and an E string. So it's a bit handier to play the I and A fingers there. So then we play the chorus. The chorus is more or less the same thing, but there is a slight change in bar 2 and 4. Again, we're playing P and then MI simultaneously. So we play. And the last note of the first bar of the chorus is a quarter note, so we actually count 1, 2, 3, 4. And because that bass note is a bit longer, we have some time to use our first finger and place it in a different position. And we're going to place it in the second position of the A string. So that's the B. The second finger is still here from bar 1, and then we're going to place our fourth finger here on the fourth position of the G string. And again, that's a B note, same as the open B, but then played on a different at a different position. So then we have 1, 2, 4 fingering, and then we play. And then the last beat, so that's the fourth beat in a 4/4 time signature, we are placing our third finger, and then our first finger, we don't really need it anymore, so you can let that one go. So then we have 2, 4, 3. So a bit of a tricky chord, and this tone really asks for another note to follow, and therefore we play in the third bar of the chorus a open D string, which sounds nice. And then we're going to repeat that twice. And then once we've repeated those 4 bars, then we can end the song with a nice chord, with a D chord. So basically we come from this, then we're going to keep our second finger there, and then we're going to place our first finger on the A, and then we play the open D, A, D on the B string, open E, then back again, and then finish off with a D chord. So that D chord that I played there is arpeggiated. It's called an arpeggio. So you basically play, in this case, 4 notes slightly separate, but they are in one beat. They are still part of the same beat. So you can play it like this, or you play it one note at a time. And it really helps if you want to try and practice this to really have your right hand already on the strings, and then you play one string at a time. And then when you do that quickly and very fast, then you hear this. So very slowly again. So that's an arpeggio. Obviously you can also try and strum it with your thumb, for example, and have this sound. That's also very nice, and it has the same effect, one string at a time. That's more or less the same kind of sound. So let's hear again what it sounds like. So that's the shortened version of Hey There Delilah. Make sure that you always plant your fingers of the right hand properly in order to have a more controlled stroke or plucking stroke. And for the left hand, the most tricky part is probably the bar on the second position. So try and find out how much pressure is needed in order to get a clean sound. So if we press very lightly, then we hear basically a muffled sound. And then if we increase the pressure a bit, then we get a clean sound. So try to find out where that point is where the minimum amount of pressure is getting a clean sound, and that's basically what you want. So you have a more efficient way of tensioning your fingers in order to not get fatigued very quickly. So there are a lot of nice things to practice in this song, I think. Make sure that you always start off very slowly, so really practice it very slowly, and then once you are more familiar with the right hand and the left hand, then you can start increasing the tempo as always. And then in the end, try and play along with the top few as well. So good luck with that, and then I'll see you in the next video again. Bye bye.